At 80 years old, Michael Douglas has been married to Catherine Zeta-Jones for 25 years. And when you look at what he's actually said about their marriage, the real story isn't about horrors at all. It's about something far more surprising. This is the truth about one of Hollywood's most scrutinized relationships, and why nearly everything you've heard about it is wrong. Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones share the same birthday, September 25th, exactly 25 years apart. He was born in 1944, she in 1969, and their relationship, which began with one of the boldest pickup lines in Hollywood history, has survived challenges that would have ended most marriages. But here's what Michael has actually revealed about being married to Catherine, and it's not what the tabloids wanted you to believe. Let's go back to August 1998, at the Deauville Film Festival in France. Michael Douglas was 53 years old, freshly divorced after a $45 million settlement from his first wife Diandra Luker. Catherine Zeta-Jones was 28, riding high on her Hollywood breakthrough in The Mask of Zorro. Michael had seen the film 3 weeks earlier and told his assistant to find out if Catherine was coming alone to the festival. He was captivated. When they finally met, introduced by Michael's old roommate Danny DeVito, Michael didn't waste time with small talk. His opening line, "I'm going to be the father of your children." Catherine's response was swift and cutting. "I've heard a lot about you and I've seen a lot about you, and I think it's time that I say goodnight." She walked away. Michael thought he'd completely blown it. But here's where it gets interesting. He sent flowers the next day with an apologetic card. Catherine still has that card today, more than 25 years later. And when asked about Michael's prediction years later, she admitted, "You know what the worst thing is? He was right." They began officially dating in March 1999. On New Year's Eve 1999, Michael proposed in Aspen, Colorado. According to Michael, they were both sick as dogs because we had the flu. But Catherine said yes anyway. On November 18, 2000, they married at the Plaza Hotel in New York City. The wedding cost an estimated $2 million and featured a Welsh choir honoring Catherine's heritage. Their son Dylan was 3 months old at the ceremony, having been born that August. OK magazine paid £1 million for exclusive photo rights. But even before the wedding, the criticism had already started. The 25-year age gap became tabloid fodder. People openly predicted the marriage would never last. Catherine was called a gold digger. Michael was accused of having a midlife crisis. And this is where the first horror of their marriage becomes clear. Not horror in the relationship itself, but the horror of constant public scrutiny and judgment. Catherine addressed this head-on years later. "I remember people saying, 'When you're 50, he's going to be 75. Well, that's just maths.'" Michael insisted on a prenuptial agreement, and for good reason. His divorce from Diandra had cost him more than $45 million after 23 years of marriage. According to multiple reports, the prenup stated Catherine would receive between $1.5 and $2.8 million per year of marriage if they divorced, plus a $5 million infidelity clause if Michael cheated. But here's what Catherine said about it, which shocked many people. "I think prenups are brilliant. If I were marrying someone of lesser fortune who was 25 years younger, I'd be doing exactly the same thing. Why should Michael be in a position where half of his fortune, which he's worked bloody hard for, should land in someone else's lap?" Their daughter Karis was born on April 20th, 2003. The family moved to Bermuda, where they lived for 12 years specifically to raise their children away from Hollywood. By all accounts, the marriage was working. Then came August 2010. After 9 months of misdiagnosis, Michael Douglas was diagnosed with stage 4 squamous cell carcinoma. The cancer was at the base of his tongue, though it was initially announced as throat cancer. Michael later revealed his doctor advised the different terminology to protect his career before a major promotional tour. Catherine later described this period. "I was a mess. I'll be quite frank, I was a mess." Michael underwent 8 weeks of intensive chemotherapy and radiation. He lost 32 pounds. This wasn't Hollywood drama. This was a man fighting for his life while his wife and young children watched. On January 11, 2011, Michael announced on the Today Show that the tumor was gone. This is where Michael has been most revealing about their marriage. He told ABC News in 2015, It feels like a rebirth after you go through cancer and you come out of it. You see priorities differently. You have a much deeper appreciation of marriage, of your children. But the horror wasn't over. Shortly after Michael's cancer battle, in April 2011, Catherine checked into a Connecticut mental health facility. The media discovered it immediately. She was diagnosed with bipolar II disorder, and suddenly her private medical condition became public knowledge. Catherine later stated, "I never wanted to be as open about it as I was. I have a British stiff upper lip mentality." But she added, "If my revelation of having bipolar II has encouraged one person to seek help, then it is worth it." She was hospitalized again in April 2013 for treatment. The stress of Michael's cancer battle, combined with managing her own mental health, was taking a visible toll. Then in June 2013, Michael made comments to The Guardian suggesting his cancer was caused by HPV transmitted through oral sex. The statement caused immediate controversy and embarrassment. Michael later told Event magazine, "I so regretted any embarrassment that it caused Catherine and her family." On August 28, 2013, their representatives made an announcement that seemed to confirm what everyone had been predicting. Catherine and Michael are taking some time apart to evaluate and work on their marriage. They hadn't been photographed together since April 22, 2013. The tabloids declared victory. The age-gap marriage was finally ending, just as they'd predicted 13 years earlier. The cancer, the mental health struggles, the public controversies, it had all been too much. But here's what Michael revealed about this period that changes everything. No divorce was ever filed. The separation lasted approximately 8 months. And in April 2014, they appeared together publicly at the Monte Carlo Awards. Michael later told Ellen DeGeneres, "We had a little bump in the road. We're back stronger than ever." But it was what he said about the work of reconciliation that's most revealing. He told reporters, "It took work on both our parts. I don't think there's much chance of fixing a relationship if one of you is already out the door." Catherine echoed this in 2022. "It's impossible for there not to be ups and downs if you live with the same person and wake up with them every day. I've been waking up to Mike for nearly 25 years. So what has Michael Douglas, now 80 years old, actually revealed about being married to Catherine Zeta-Jones? Not horrors, but something the tabloids never wanted to report. Gratitude, respect, and genuine partnership." In 2015, after their reconciliation, Michael said, "I love Catherine as much, more than I ever have." Catherine told Wall Street Journal magazine in 2021, "The constant is love and respect. We've never, ever lost our sense of humor, and we enjoy each other's company." In 2022, Catherine addressed the age gap directly. "I never really feel that he's 25 years older than me." And in July 2025, when Michael announced his semi-retirement from acting at the Deauville International Film Festival, he said something that reveals the current state of their marriage. "I have not worked since 2022 purposefully because I realized I had to stop. I did not want to be one of those people who dropped dead on the set. I'm quite happy just to watch my wife work." Think about that statement. At 80 years old, after surviving cancer, after a separation, after 25 years of marriage, Michael Douglas says he's quite happy just to watch my wife work. Their marriage has also had to weather challenges involving Michael's son from his first marriage. Cameron Douglas battled drug addiction from age 13, was arrested by the DEA in 2009, and served nearly 7 years in federal prison. Michael publicly blamed himself, writing to the judge as a bad father. Catherine stood by Michael through this family crisis. Cameron was released in August 2016 and has since recovered, even co-starring with his father in an upcoming film. There's also been the complicated matter of Michael's Mallorca estate. After his 2000 divorce, Michael and his ex-wife Diandra shared the Spanish property on a 6-month rotation, an arrangement that continued even after Catherine moved in. Michael called it not very pleasant for anyone. He finally bought out Diandra's share in 2021, more than 20 years after marrying Catherine. In November 2025, Michael and Catherine celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary. Catherine posted on Instagram, "25 years ago today, I walked down the aisle. The intoxicating aroma of flowers, the glow of the candles, the resounding harmonious Welsh choir, and you at the end of the long walk waiting for me, looking at me the way only you can. I love you today as I did then. Both of their children have now graduated from Brown University. Dylan works as a political commentator. Karis graduated in May 2025 and is pursuing acting. The couple is selling their Westchester, New York home, listed at $12 million, now that they're empty nesters. They're spending more time at their estate in Mallorca, Spain. Catherine was promoted to series regular on Netflix's Wednesday for Season 2, which premiered in August 2025. Season 3 is already in production. When asked about their marriage longevity in 2025, Catherine said, "We still have fun. After all these years, our sense of humor is still pretty on, and I think that's one of the keys. We laugh together, we laugh at each other, and I think that is just great." According to friends, when Catherine is away filming, Michael doesn't sleep well when she's not in bed. So what are the horrors Michael Douglas revealed about being married to Catherine Zeta-Jones? Cancer that nearly killed him, mental health struggles that required hospitalization, a separation that could have ended everything, the death of his father, Kirk Douglas, in 2020, a son who battled addiction and spent years in prison, constant media scrutiny, relentless criticism about their age difference, public embarrassment from his own comments. But here's what he's also revealed: that they survived all of it, that the marriage everyone said would fail has now lasted 25 years, that the woman he told would be the mother of his children on their first meeting, the line that made her walk away, was exactly right, that at 80 years old, he's happy to step back from his career and watch his wife thrive in hers. Catherine addressed the doubters directly in 2025, and they said it would never last. "We've been married 25 years. It's something to celebrate." The real horror wasn't the marriage. The horror was that so many people wanted it to fail, predicted it would fail, and have spent 25 years waiting for it to fail. And it hasn't. Michael Douglas didn't reveal horrors about being married to Catherine Zeta-Jones. He revealed something far more interesting: that a relationship built on a bold prediction, tested by serious illness, mental health challenges, family crises, and public scrutiny, can not only survive but actually grow stronger. That's not a horror story. That's just reality. The reality of a real marriage that has outlasted every tabloid prediction. 25 years after that famous pickup line, Michael Douglas is still right. And Catherine Zeta-Jones is still there, born on the same day exactly 25 years later, laughing with him, working alongside him, and proving everyone wrong.